Good morning. Welcome to Morning Brew with Yes, it's me, your girl Germaine, and we are here on another beautiful day to have coffee and conversation. So if you are available and you want to stop by for a quick coffee and conversation, please come join me, okay? All right, because today our brew topic is going to be all about when success and fulfillment aren't the same thing. We're going to talk about that a little bit, okay? All right. So hopefully you're doing well today. I promise I will not keep you long. Don't I always say that? I won't keep you long today. I have a full day, just like you probably have a full day. But as we know, we're gonna look at the word being busy a little different. We talked about that on yesterday. So I'm not gonna say because I'm busy today. Nope, I'm not giving busy any power. I'm just going to do what's required of me within the structure of my day, right? And so, but if you have a few minutes and you want to stop by, please stop by, join in the conversation. Let me know what you're drinking. I'm drinking my caramel pecan coffee today. Let me know where you're chiming in from. But let's just take a moment, let's take a pause so we can begin to pour into purpose. All right. So, when success and fulfillment aren't the same thing, let's get into this. Okay. So, you know, many people spend years chasing success, the promotion, the business, the degree, the house, the recognition, the followers, the accomplishments. Just saying that feels like it's weighty. We're chasing those things. It's our reality. Those are things that we're chasing, you know, for success, right? If that's your view, that's the direction you're going in. But those are the things we're chasing. And then one day they arrive at the destination. Mm. When you think about it, they work so hard to reach only to discover. Yeah, I say they, putting myself in there. We work so hard to reach only to discover something unexpected. Let's get into it. Success doesn't automatically create fulfillment. Surprise. Now, all the things you were wanting, you strive so hard, you work so hard to get it, you know, and now you have them. You're at the destination. So let's think about it. The promotion, you got the promotion, the business is thriving, the degree, you got that house, you got the recognition you were seeking. People are following you, the accomplishments, they're all so you arrive at the destination of these things that you so desire, and only to discover something unexpected. Success doesn't automatically create fulfillment. Success doesn't automatically create fulfillment, okay? You can have a full schedule and still feel empty. Oh my goodness. You can have a full schedule and still feel empty. Mhm. You can be admired by others and still feel unfulfilled within yourself. Is this stepping on anybody's toes when you think about it? So today's conversation is about understanding the difference between what looks successful on the outside and what feels meaningful on the inside. Yep, we're going to get all into it. We're going to get all into it. Let's talk about it because, a lot of us are probably walking around, the outside image of what's going on in your life looks one way, but the inside, there's no fulfillment. But you've accomplished all those things you set out to accomplish at what cost? All right, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to begin to pour a little into purpose as we dive deeper into when success and fulfillment aren't the same thing. They're not the same thing. Okay. So let's talk about it. So, success is often measured by others. And this is what success should look like. And this is what you have to have in order to be considered successful. And yes, this is what they measure it by. So, we work so hard. I mean, people kill themselves to get to certain status in life, levels in life, just to be accepted, validated by others, but still feel so empty on the inside, right? So, okay, let's look at success is often measured by others. Let's talk about it. Most of us grew up learning how to recognize success. More money, more titles, more achievements, more possessions, more recognition, right? The problem is that many of those measurements come from society's definition, not our own. Let me say that again. Many of those uh, measurements come from society's definition and not our own. Sometimes we're climbing a ladder only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. And you put all this time and all this effort because somebody painted a picture in your mind. This is what success is. And you believed it and you put everything, you sacrificed so much only to come and find out that the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. Whew. Take a moment and just let that sink in, okay? Think about all that you put into something knowing you were going in the wrong direction. You were climbing up the wrong ladder, and there was such an emptiness and a void still on the inside of you. So the question isn't, am I successful? Mm-mm. The question is, am I becoming who I'm called to be? I want you to let that pour into purpose. I want you to just let it steep a little, okay? Success is often measured by others. I want you to think about that. All right, let's pour a little more. Fulfillment comes from alignment. Fulfillment comes from alignment. Fulfillment happens when your values, your purpose, and daily actions begin working together, hand in hand. Values, purpose, daily actions are working hand in hand. They're working together, right? And so it also comes from knowing why you do what you do, who you're becoming, what truly matters, and what impact you're making. Do you ever take into consideration those things? Do you think about those things when you are just trying to climb this ladder of success? You know, especially if you want something to happen on the inside. You don't want to fill that void still as you're laboring, you're sacrificing family, you're sacrificing your body, your mental, you're sacrificing all this stuff because somebody said this is the blueprint, this is how you need to do it in order to get here. And for you, you come to realize that was not the pathway I was supposed to take for my purpose. We got to be so mindful to make sure you're going in the right direction. You're in the right alignment because your life is not someone else's life. And just because somebody else, you seek success on them, and so you figure, hey, they can do it, I can do it. But it don't always work like that. You may be totally out of alignment of who you are purposed to be, who you are becoming, trying to follow in the steps of somebody else for a pathway that was probably chosen for them. Okay. All right. So I want you to be encouraged to know that fulfillment isn't always flashy. Sometimes fulfillment looks like peace. Sometimes it looks like purpose. And sometimes it looks like knowing you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Success can impress people. Fulfillment nourishes your soul. Do you see the difference? Success impress people because people kind of give you the narrative or paint the picture of what success looks like, but there's still no fulfillment in a lot of cases. Just talk to some people. Talk to some people right in your circle. Talk about their jobs, the jobs that they're on, the new promotion that they got. Ask them, do they feel fulfilled within? Even though they're making the money, they're able to buy the house, get the things that they want, but ask them, are they happy? Because you can see a lot of people, hanging up and making a decision to say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I don't care how much I make. I just can't do this anymore. I feel so void of just living life. And I feel like I'm just existing day to day, same routine, chasing a dollar. And it's killing me internally because I feel like, or I'm not being fulfilled. I'm not feeling like I'm in my purpose. Whatever it may be, I just want you to think about some things. If you find that you are in this space of feeling a void, feeling malnourished, internally, everything on the outside looks one way and people think you got it all together. And on the inside, you're crying out. You feel like you're drowning. You feel like you're dying on the inside because you're not living your full life. You're just existing through life. Just think about some things and know that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I need to pivot. I'm not being fulfilled. Something to think about. So let's continue to pour. With purpose, don't lose yourself chasing more. Whew, let me say that again. With purpose, don't lose yourself chasing more. Let that seep for a moment. One of our greatest dangers of success is believing the next achievement will finally make you happy. How much do you put stock in the things that you do to bring about happiness, peace, joy, you know? Because what happens when things don't go the way you need them to go? That means your happiness is not authentic, right? It's tied to things, maybe. And the thing is, you just don't want to live life like that. Can you be in a place when you may not have fulfilled things that you wanted, still find happiness? That's a tough question for some people. I've seen people, listen, they shift like the wind. If the wind is blowing in the right direction one day, they're full of life, they're happy, they're excited. If the wind blows in the wrong direction, they feel like everything is crashing down. What is happening with my life? That's no way to live. Be stable, you know, learn to ride the storms, the waves, but don't let that define your peace, your happiness, your joy. So let me finish. So, like I said, one of the greatest dangers of success is believing the next achievement will finally make me happy. The next sale, the next client, the next contract, the next award, the next milestone, all these things. The next one, the next. What if the next never shows up? What is your state of mind? What is your state of being? Are you relying on those things to fulfill your joy, your happiness? Oh my gosh, please, please don't allow those things to define you in any way. Don't to define your state of being in any way. Because what if they don't come? That means you stay in a place of depression. You stay in a place that mentally, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't even want to get out the bed today. So do not let things or the next thing Do not let that be the controlling factor in bringing you joy and happiness and peace, okay? But I want you to know that fulfillment isn't waiting at the finish line. Mm-mm. It is found in your journey. Continue on the journey. Continue on the journey. Continue on the journey, okay? All right. So, also think about this. If you're constantly chasing more, you never appreciate what you've already built. Do you take time to pause, to slow down, to reflect back on how far you've come in this journey? Or are you so focused and driven on the next, the next that you're living life just for the next and you're not even enjoying what you've already accomplished? Guys, it's so important. We have to take a pause. Take that pause. Reflect back over your life. See where you started, see how far you've come, and be able to just take in the moment of being thankful and grateful. Please don't define your life as just series of the next, getting to the next, got to get here, competing with this one. I need what they have. Please don't let your life be defined by that. Your life is so much more. There's so much purpose that's within you that you need to focus on getting to, not what someone else is doing. They have to focus on what they're doing, right? So keep that in mind and embrace the journey, and do not define it by what's next. What's next? Got to get to the next, got to get to the next. Sometimes just in that moment, I'm going to just pause. I'm going to take it all in. And I'm just so thankful because dot, 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 right? All right. So listen, also, I want to encourage you with knowing that purpose teaches us to pursue growth while remaining grateful for where we are. Purpose. All right, guys, listen. I don't know. I hope something resonates with you because I know it definitely resonates with me. So let's talk about some reflection questions. Yep, after we just gone through our pour into purpose, this segment is for all of us to take some questions with you. So, first one, what does success mean to you today? What does success mean to you today? Okay, think about it. I want you to think about it. Hmm. Yep. I give these questions because I want you to take them along your journey with you. You never know when it may just pop back up and you say, "Oh, I remember. You know what? This is my answer to that." But it's for you. It's for you to reflect on. It's for you to think about next steps. So let's talk a little more. What areas of your life feel successful but not necessarily fulfilled? And we talked about that earlier. So, you know what? I've accomplished the car. I got the vehicle. I got the house. I got the job and the promotion. All this stuff feels successful. When people look at me, they can definitely clearly see how successful I am because I have all these things. Things are going and clicking on all cylinders. But you know what? I still feel something's missing. Mm, there's still that void on the inside. Why aren't I happy? And I have everything I set out to do. I sacrificed all this stuff to get to this place. What is happening on the inside? I still feel like I'm missing something. Yeah, it doesn't feel good, you know? So for some reason, the success of what things look like on the outside is not aligning with fulfillment on the inside. People are walking around depressed. It doesn't matter what they have. They could have all these things in place. They could accomplish all this stuff. But you know what? Some people, I realize listening to some people's stories, they sacrifice their family so they don't have great relationships with their loved ones because they sacrificed that to gain success only to come to realize I'm not happy. I'm not fulfilled. I feel like I'm just existing through life, waking up every day, same routine, but I'm not fully living my full, authentic life. I don't even know what that looks like. Is that you? Do you ever say, I don't even know what it looks like, what my life should be because I'm so programmed in this way? Hmm. Guys, we only have one life. We are only assigned this one life. And you know what? Every day that goes by, we get closer to the end of this life. So, what is it that's deep down inside that keeps nagging at you? It keeps tugging on you that you need to do. What is it? Ask yourself, confront yourself, be honest with yourself. When you think about what is the thing in your life that you cannot be absent from it. It's literally, it feels like a lifeline. You do it so effortlessly. You don't even really think about it. But when you're plugged into it, you cannot live. It's like, I cannot have this not be a part of my life. That might be something tied to purpose, whatever that is. And only you can clarify that. It could be something definitely tied to purpose and what you should be doing to gain the fulfillment and the joy in your life. All right, I'm gonna just leave it with that, right? I'm gonna leave you there with that. Let me ask you this question also. What brings you peace, joy, and meaning beyond achievement? All right, guys, those are the questions. I'm gonna leave you with those questions. What brings you peace, joy, and meaning beyond achievement? All right, guys. All right, guys. So you know what? We are wrapping up. We are coming up to our final sip. Yay, we coming up to the final sip. But I do want to say, we have our freshly brewed, which is a quick segment talking all things, what's happening, new authors coming to the market, new things happening with HOV, our ecosystem, our HOV there's so much happening, and I am so excited about it. I'm going to talk a little bit about it today. But the one thing I definitely want to say is in this month of June, which is Father's Day, is definitely in this month. We wanted to just really kind of shout out and make sure we're encouraging fathers on a global level for all that they do, and for those that are navigating to find their way back to the meaning of fatherhood. And I say that because even in my own life, struggling with my dad, who I love, but my dad, you know what? He's no longer with us due to the COVID season and everything that we went through in that season of time. But, you know, sometimes on life's journey, we're trying to find ourselves when we detoured, right? And we're trying to get back to those things. But I'm so grateful that I had a relationship with my dad. Um, it wasn't, I can't say it was like the greatest, the best, but you know what? Um, I saw him and I saw him in his struggles. And I knew how to pray for him, for God to keep him, to bring him back to the value of his purpose in life. And a lot of times, people are robbed of their true purpose because they get detoured along the way for whatever reason that may be. And so I don't know if I can send any encouraging words, is stay connected to the source of our creator, the source of our being. God created mankind, God created us, you know? And I think it's so important that when you are connected to the source, not worshiping God's creation, God is the source, worshiping God, the source. And my belief is in Jesus Christ. And so I say that because when you're feeling empty, not having peace, feeling void of, I know for me is when I connect back to the source of my being who created me, and I rely on the Holy Spirit, then you know what I realize? I realize that is a joy and a peace Thank you, Jesus Christ. That is a joy and a peace that is not about the natural. It's not about people and what they believe success looks like, right? Because I don't care whatever the storm may be in my life. When I know that I have a connection that I can plug into, you know what? Happiness, peace, joy, all of that just overflows. Even when, even when it feels like everything is crashing down, and it feels like what there's no success, right? And it feels like the fulfillment is there, even in spite of. So I don't know. I don't know why I felt led. Yes, because that's exactly my mental, my mind, where I'm at. And I know that for me, it's not about the materialistic, the joy. It's about, am I fulfilling my purpose? Am I walking in my purpose? That in itself, to wake up every day, to do what I do, I just feel like, wow, thank you, God, for allowing me to tap into that early on in my life to know, even though things are still unfolding. But I am so grateful. And I am so grateful for those that allow me to be a part of their journeys. And so here we are, being able to share the power of one story, and the ultimate story is God's story. And us tying right back into that. So, with that being said, guys, let's get into this final sip. If you have not, oh, before I do that, I do want to say a new author coming to market, Secrets to Looking Your Best at Any Age. Yes, today is her release, and I noticed pre-sales are still going on. Let me put that because I noticed the ebook has hit the market. Yes, the ebook is available, and I'm waiting for the paperback to hit Amazon and all Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and book outlets everywhere. So, but what I want to do, um, I do. I'm sending the link right now so we can go and support. This is for men and women, not just women. Yes, this volume two incorporates men. So definitely equip yourself with what you need. But I do want to put in the comments the link so you can go and purchase your copy today. Okay. Okay. Yep. I'm putting it in here, and I will also put it over in Instagram for anyone that is interested, definitely in supporting and helping this book, Secrets to Looking Your Best at Any Age, Volume 2, become an Amazon bestseller. And today you can stop by. Okay, hold on. I'm sharing. I'm in the sharing mode. So, but thank you so much. It is available. And yes, I did. It's up on the screen where you can tap into that as well. Okay, guys. Now let's get into our final sip as we bring all of this to a close today. And let's see. The final sip. So, okay, success is a wonderful thing. Don't get it twisted. It is. And you know what? You're able to help so many other people. Um, Sorry, guys. And so success is a wonderful thing. There's nothing wrong with pursuing excellence. Please don't get it twisted. This message, do not get this message twisted. Okay. There's nothing wrong with setting goals, accomplishing great things, nothing at all. But don't become so focused on building successful lives that you forgot to build meaningful ones. That's the thing. When we make things our gods, right? When we worship things and not the creator himself, that becomes the problem. So it's okay, you know, to have, to do these things, to want these things, but just don't be so focused and driven that you forget about everything else, and you forget the meaning, why you're here, purpose. You want to be fulfilled. You don't want to be existing through life so empty, right? So I want to say, because at the end of the day, people rarely wish they had worked more. Yeah, at the end of the day, they rarely wish, I wish I just had worked more, right? They wish they had lived more intentionally. So you don't want to live this entire life, the only one that you're given, with regrets. I wish. I should have. The signs were there. I didn't pay attention. I was just so driven that I lost sight. And now what? Is it too late for me? You don't want regrets. You don't. You don't want regrets. They wish they had loved more deeply. I sacrificed my whole family. Now, when all this stuff is gone, I don't even have good relationships with people because I was so focused and so driven. Now I feel all alone, right? They wish they had spent more time doing what truly mattered. Guys, please don't allow your life to end up in this place. All right. So let's do this as we bring it to a close. So we sip slow. So don't measure your worth by your accomplishments. Do not measure your worth by your accomplishments. Do not let these things that will perish, that will, go away by who you are, who you're purposed to be, who you're becoming. Don't box yourself in. That's so minimal. When you're so great, there's so much more, right? I want you to sip deep and think about this. I want you to pay attention to what genuinely brings you peace and brings you joy. Take a moment. You got to pause, to take these things. You cannot be so busy, so overwhelmed that your brain just want to shut down. But I really want you to begin to pay attention to what genuinely brings you peace and joy. All right. And so sip with purpose. Build a life that's not only successful, but fulfilling. Because success may fill your calendar, but fulfillment will fill your soul. And on that note, guys, I'm going to leave you with that food for thought for you to think about it. Okay. Have a great day. We'll be back with Morning Brew tomorrow for Mixed Blend Wednesday. And so, yes, we're going to have a guest in studio with us tomorrow. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great one. Be safe, whatever you do. And please, please let this message, when success and fulfillment aren't the same thing, let some of the things that we talked about, see if it resonates with you, where it may align with your thought process, with what you're actually dealing with. And hopefully it can help free you and bring you a little bit of peace, sunshine, and joy, maybe even happiness, right? Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.